right now. So as always, guys, welcome to our live sessions. It is Sunday, September 27th. This is another Sunday Market Blitz. So in these live sessions, we go over all the pairs that we're looking at for the week. Obviously, beginning of the week right now. So we're just sizing up potential trades for the week ahead. What you guys should expect is we're going to do our top-down analysis. We'll look for structure, and then we'll get down to the lower time frames, look for potential entries. There are trades given out on these sessions from time to time. But, this session is completely free. So everything that goes on, in this session is for your guys' benefit. This will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube afterwards. So if you guys do miss it at any point. And I'm going to get started with all the major pairs. If you guys have questions at any time during the session, just write it in the chat. And it doesn't matter if the question is big or small, just feel free. Again, this is completely free for you guys. So if anything, it benefits us more if you guys ask questions. So yeah, feel free. We got Nick joining up now. I'm going to get him unmuted.
Hey,
what's up, Nick?
what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Angelo?
What's going on? I was about to get started here. I was just giving the good old introduction spiel.
Perfect.
Good.
Get the intro rolling.
The intro rolling. Dude, for some reason, the freaking it's making me have a waiting room. Like it's making me admit everybody into it. I don't know why.
Oh, damn! I thought. Yeah, I mean, it might have been an update that reset the settings on it or something.
Settings.
I don't know. Zoom is finicky sometimes. But anyway, hope you guys all had a good weekend. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to look at the charts, maybe review last week, prepare for this one. We got some good opportunities. Market's looking pretty good.
Hell yeah. Hopefully you guys caught some football today for you football fans. I was watching a little bit myself while I was doing some analysis, but let's get right into it. So just one more time, if you guys have questions throughout the session, feel free to ask. This is completely for you guys. So again, feel free. Let's get started with DXY. Maybe we both can just take a look at it right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's start all the way up, up to the monthly time frame. We did have this magical trend line here that I respected, which was pretty weird, but pretty much, overall, we still are bearish on DXY. A lot of bullish movement at the moment. So we got to zoom in and sort of see where price action is right now. So last week, we had this huge surge to the upside on DXY. Obviously, no indication at the moment that we could reverse, but what we are looking at as we get down to the daily and we get down all the way to the 4 hour. 4 hour is very overextended right now. It's just at a high. So ideally, we need some sort of pullback. Obviously, healthy markets, they're going to pull back. They're going to trend. It looks very nice, this 38.2 down in this area over here. So I'm saying we could see some potential reversal here down to this 38.2. But considering how bullish this is, this thing could just continue to climb higher and higher. So what do you think, Nick?
I think that's definitely, I see it as pretty much two ways. I mean, obviously it's going to either continue bullish or, go bearish. But this thing, like Angelo said, can pull back to the monthly and still very much be bullish. It is kind of weakening, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, either due or it's going to push into, I have another zone around 95 flat that it could push into, and then we'll reanalyze, see if it reverses from there, how it reacts, and so on. But if there's one thing that is for sure, if it breaks back below pretty much 94, if we start seeing lower highs below 94, this monthly zone that Angelo has labeled, we're then back to bearish, no doubt. Okay?
Yep.
So, so looking for those two opportunities, either a continuation of bullish momentum or a break back below our monthly.
And as we get up to the weekly, we look for some upside targets. We had this huge level up here that was tested multiple times. I could see it coming all the way back up to this weekly level if we do continue higher. But I'm just trying to keep in mind, we are still below this weekly moving average. We are overall in this weekly and monthly still bearish. This daily obviously is surging, but this daily at the same time, if we look at it from the way that we would draw our fibs, daily time frame, we had this pullback here to 38.2, and then if we were to readjust our fibs down to this level, all the way down here. We're pretty much just in a retracement right now. So we're just retracing. This is a huge retracement. This thing could reverse, see 78.6. There's some confluence up here. I think regardless if this thing heads higher, we could see some sort of pullback here just to establish that trend. So that's just kind of what we're looking at. As we get into some of these pairs, you're going to see kind of two sides of analysis, two different potential like opportunities, two different situations that we could take advantage of. And I'm going to just get started with GU. We're going to do the same thing. Again, all of these analysis are posted in the analysis tab. So we're just rolling through the text that's in here. If I come into GU, we're just doing time frame by time frame, same thing that I wrote in here, just going through what we think this pair could do for the week ahead. So if you guys want to come in, read this, feel free to, but that's basically what we're going over right now. So all the way up on the weekly time frame with GU, it was pretty obvious last week. We formed this bearish engulfing candle right here. We're moving below all the moving averages. Overall, this thing has been in a very bearish trend on this weekly time frame. So we're just kind of zoning in right now, bearish engulfing right there, below the moving averages, below this weekly level. As we can see previously, this weekly level had been tested multiple times, respected, and then respected here, and then fell right through here. Looking back even further, other areas of indecision like here, like here, like here. So this level, a lot of orders could potentially come in. As we come down to the lower time frames, daily time frame, we're looking, this was a high, this is now in this pullback. I'm just zoning in on this area. We are red over blue. Momentum is still very bearish at the moment. As I come down even to the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame made this lower high. Now we're down here forming a rectangle pattern. Rectangle patterns are normally just continuational patterns. So with that in mind, I'm sort of looking at this area to continue to push to the downside. Now, if this pushes to the downside, guys, that lines up with DXY going north. That lines up with DXY continuing to be bullish. So let's just get down to even a lower time frame, this 1 hour. As we can see on the 1 hour, we had this little bit of a push up here, but then came right back into this. So this is the zone. This is the zone that we've been respecting over and over and over again. Pretty much right now, what we're looking for is we're either looking for it to reject this area and then head lower, or we would look for buy opportunities only if this broke significantly above here, retested, and then went long. So this is GU right now, guys, looking on the lower time frames all the way down to the 15-minute, seeing how it respects this line right now, seeing how it respects this zone for potential shorts. And to the upside, we would need a significant break, retest, entry. So that's GU. Let's head over to UCAD. Let's start all the way on the weekly. So on the weekly time frame on UCAD, just looking at candlestick analysis, last week, very bullish coming into this week, but we are coming into this rejection level. So as we can see, we had this support formed here, fell below, now we're coming up. That support now turns into resistance. This area previously had been tested before many times, had been tested here, a lot of indecision around it at this point, had been tested here, and even going further back. So this is definitely a key level, definitely an area where there could be a lot of orders placed where I want to look for potential trades. And most importantly, just this support now turn resistance. So as I come down to the lower time frame, daily and 4-hour, kind of looking at the trends. Daily time frame, I was kind of looking at it like this. Daily time frame, we are up at this 618 area. Last week formed 2 spinning tops to end the week, which are definitely indecision candles. As I break this down even further to the 4-hour, we could see some sort of double top here, forming right now. Had this previous high, came up, rejected that area. So it's definitely a double top. In order for me to get short on this, we would need to actually break some structure, guys. So down to the 1 hour, we're seeing this trend line right here. This is forming, this is our point A right here on the wick. And then we've got our point B coming right through this area right here, kind of the median of all these candles. So definitely a legitimate trend line that we have there, forming some higher highs, these higher lows. If we break this area and retest this low, we'll easily short this and be able to get into some profits. On the flip side, though, If this thing doesn't respect this spinning top, that like daily confirmation that we just went over, what I would really need to see is this. So we have this double top that formed right here. We would need to see a significant break above this level, retest, in order to go long. So we would need to break these highs, and then let's bump back up to the 4-hour and even to the daily. To the daily time frame, what would our target be? It would be around this 200-day moving average, this previous support, now turn resistance. So that's the event that we do head higher. That's in the event that USD is a lot stronger, then we'll look for that situation. But to the downside, this is definitely looking like a good trade opportunity if this does play out. So that's UCAD. Let's go over to USEF. I kind of drew this last week and looks to be continuing this a little bit. So we're going to draw this out. Let's go up to the weekly time frame. So up to the weekly time frame, or even up to the monthly time frame, we're still red over blue. We had been very overextended. We hit this monthly low, this monthly key level down here, forming a huge bullish engulfing candle right now. So there are a lot of buyers in the market at the moment. A lot of buyers in the market. Huge bullish candle again last week. A lot of buyers in the market, but overall, I'm still looking at this as a downtrend. Still looking at this as a downtrend on the weekly time frame. Still looking at this as we're red over blue right now. We're about to retest this support and now turn resistance. And as I come down even to the daily time frame, this is where I drew my fib, guys. I drew it from this previous lower high all the way down through all of this, red over blue all the way down to this low. Never formed a lower high here. So this is all the way down to this area, and we're hitting 38.2 right now, hitting that support now turn resistance. And as I zoom in a little bit, as we can see, we were just climbing low volume into this zone right now. So I'm looking for potential reversal in this area as I come down to the 1 hour and even down to the 30-minute. Down to the 30-minute, I would need to see something a little bit more significant right now to actually take advantage of this. We would need some structure to form up here. Right now, we would need this level to break to consider any sort of shorts. So I need to see a lot more price action in order for this to happen. Up here, let's just zoom out a little bit, take this off. On the flip side, if this does manage all the way up on this daily, if this does manage to get above this highlighted zone, we will look to continue to take longs. So pretty much we're just seeing how it reacts to this red zone right now. If we see a lot of rejection here, we're going to easily look to short, and we'll be able to get in. There will be volume here because this is definitely a key zone, definitely a previous support level. So we're going to look to get in on something looking like this. And then to the upside, if we do just continue up, break above this red zone, as soon as it shows a lot of bullish momentum above here, that's when we'll start buying. So that's USEF. Let's go over to NU. Let's hit all the way up to the weekly time frame. Clear this up a little bit, but weekly time frame on NU, overall, we are bearish on this. We got people trying to join mid-session. We're overall bearish on this. So this was a lower high, hit this level, huge rejection. A lot of sellers stepped in, bearish engulfing last week. So more sellers than buyers at the moment. Down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, this is kind of how I'm looking at it. Form this higher low, form this high, form this higher low, form this double top at this high. So right now, in order for me to start selling at the moment, I need to break below this demand zone, with it in mind that weekly time frame, bearish engulfing, more sellers than buyers. Down to the 4-hour time frame. Broke this support level, more sellers than buyers. But if we do start to find support here, if we do find support of this demand zone, because on this daily structure, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. If we do find support here somehow, this is what we're going to look for. We need to break above this level on the 1-hour time frame. I'm just going to bring this over a little bit more. So we would need to break this level. This is a structure that just formed. Break here, retest, entry right there. to the downside, very simple, guys. If we see price move lower than this demand zone, pretty much lower than this right here, this is going to be exactly where we look for entries, guys. Right there.
Break of that higher low, new lower high.
Yep. And then right here. Boom. So opportunity 1, opportunity 2. Right there. Just keeping it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. And if this is like a good thing to go through, guys. If you're struggling with being patient for trades, map out with this path tool. Just map out a projection. Map out what you ideally want to see, and don't execute until you see it. You know what I'm saying? Don't execute until you can actually see that happen. I know if we go back to last week, I believe on NU, it was a good example of this, if I can find it on here. Pretty much on NU, we mapped out this pullback and then this entry. Unfortunately, it was like in the middle of the night, but you just got to map out what you guys want to see. Don't overtrade, don't make up positions. The market is really up for your interpretation. You have to create the rules for what you want to get in on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different ways to make money with it, a lot of ways to lose money. Main way to lose money is to have no plan.
Yep. And most importantly, it's sticking to your plan. So like what this does by drawing this projection, it's based on, his rule set. And that's why he's going to wait for this to execute, because when, it does and he sees what he wants to see, it fits everything that he's looking for based on the strategy that he's using. So You guys should do the same.
Yep. Yeah. Just keep it simple, stupid. Keep it as simple as possible. So that's NU. Let's hit over now to EU. Let's come up to this weekly time frame. So all the way up on the weekly here. Let's actually bump to the monthly. So monthly, we had another magical trend line drawn, point A, point B. This was a potential point C here where it fell off pretty dramatically. All the way down to the weekly, though, we were keeping in mind that on the weekly, we were talking about over the past literally 4 weeks. This started to form a lot of indecision at the top here. So we had this spinning top, doji. This was an ascending channel, that it was forming up here. And then basically we just fell out of this. Last week, huge bearish candle right here. Huge fall off. As I come down to the daily, we can start to see this ascending channel. So all this means, guys, this ascending channel right here is price is weakening. So it's failing to form real highs here, failing to get enough buyers to really push to another high. So it's just forming really like not significant highs here, pulling back, make this lower high, dumps right here. So let's analyze where we are at the moment and why I have this little red line on here. So let's come back up to the weekly time frame. I put this on. Sometimes I'll put on these like random lines in the middle of our weekly zones and monthly zones. Right here looks pretty significant. We had support here, support all along this level, a lot of indecision around this level. So I'm kind of trying to see how things react to this line right here. Coming down to the daily, we just have to keep going down time frames. Right now we're bearish, red over blue. I want to break down so we can see a little bit more structure. All the way down to the 4 hour, still bearish, red over blue all the way. And then as I come down to the 1 hour, all the way down here, what's up, Taha? What's up, Kobe? As I come down to this 1 hour time frame, this is kind of what we're looking for right now. We're either looking to maintain this 1 hour trend, which is forming lower lows, lower high, low here, lower high here, low here, lower high here. We either need a break above, and we'll look to enter on the retest or the first higher low that forms, or if this thing does form another lower high, if it does pull back, and by lower high, I mean this. If we form something like this, bearish engulfing through the moving average at one of our fib levels, this one happened to be formed at 50% level, right near 38.2. That's where we're looking for this to form. That's a lower high, guys. So we're waiting on that. We're not going to enter right now. We're not going to go to the 15-minute and search for something, but we are starting to see a flag on this lower time frame. Without going there, we can see that. So I do think this thing is going to push to the downside, and we might not see that going along with the trend the last few weeks. These things have been making moves at like 2 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., multiple nights in a row. So we could potentially see that again. Could definitely potentially see that again. So we're going to be patient on this, but this is what we're looking for, EU. Looking at this thing to continue to push. If it does break here, then we'll go long. And why would I go long on that, guys? As I bump up to the daily, as I bump up to the weekly, weekly time frame pushed and made this high. So if we find support here, we could come all the way back up to test this zone, to test this weekly zone. We popped below here, but never retested it. This thing could come back into that area where there's going to be either a lot of sellers or buyers. So that's why we're saying we could break here, find support, go north there. So last pair I'm going to go over for you guys is going to be GJ. So GJ is going to be very similar to GU. Let's pop over here. I kept this one like really on the higher time frame. Just kind of looking at the weekly on GJ has been very bearish, forming these lower highs, lower low, lower high, came up here, another lower high. So let's just zoom in on price right now at the moment. Last week formed, look at this large wick. So a ton of buyers stepped in to kind of halt this. And as we come down to the daily time frame, the daily right now is overall forming higher highs and higher lows. We had this high, higher low, high. Now we're over here. We got to kind of break all this down. Even though this is in an uptrend, we're in this pullback. We're in this big retracement right here. So we have this 200-day, we're below there. Moving averages are red over blue. And then we also have this weekly key level right here that we could potentially respect. So as I break this down further, down to the 4 hour, I'm seeing this thing's popping up right into this zone. This was our previous lower high right there. So if I were to fib from that high to this low, I fib from this first bearish candle, the push, to the last bearish candle when this thing started to retrace, which is right here. We could see we got 618 right here. We've got that weekly level. If we see some sort of bearish variation right there, guys, we're going to look to short this. We're going to get on a lower time frame and look for entry. But right now, a 4 hour time frame, this is what we're looking for. So again, all of this analysis that I just went over is in the analysis tab. It's in the Discord, in the analysis tab. Everything I talked about, you guys can look at again. And we got some bonus pairs on here that I'm not going to cover in this. And it's also in the Telegram. So if you guys are not in the Telegram, it's in the Telegram as well. We post that in there. So that being said, I'm going to pass this over to Nick, and he's going to go ahead and do the rest of the analysis.
Perfect. Thank you, Angelo. Great analysis. Definitely some great setups in there for this week, guys, and a lot of little extra lessons in there as well, as far as patterns and structure and whatnot.
Some other weird shit.
All right, so let's do a quick refresher on DXY. Why not? Just on the 4 hour though. Overall higher time frame is bearish, right? We had this huge slide, but recently, just to discuss last week, because we had a real significant change of trend here, where we were in a downtrend, kind of this descending channel here, and then we broke out, a bit of a flag, and then it really took off, right? So it was still pretty indecisive in here. It had the potential to keep going lower, but then it found conviction and absolutely skyrocketed. And then a lot of the other pairs, USD pairs, reacted, with this as well. Like EU dropped, AU dropped as well. We're going to get to that. But right now, it's pretty much, it looks like it's weakening, but it still is, yet to touch this monthly zone around 95 flat. So it's very likely that this is going to continue higher. But as always, the quickest way to catch an early reversal is simply look for a break of a higher low. So in this sense, it's actually really good that it's weakening, because it's forming these tight higher lows, right? So let's say this is 94.25. So if you spot a break of this, that's an early transition, potentially. And then we could get on top of, changing our bias and then potentially getting some short opportunities on other pairs. But, if this does continue to kind of creep up into this monthly zone, these higher lows should get tighter. And then, obviously you'll move this line up and catch the transition earlier and earlier as a reversal, happens near this monthly. That's what I personally think is going to happen. I don't think it's done just yet. I think it's got a little bit more creeping to do. And then, we'll reanalyze and see how it reacts. But let's say always consider both sides of the market. Let's say we get a huge drop off right early in the week. We get a reversal from this current zone. We'll look to go bearish on lower time frames, as we just discussed, after this higher low is broken. And then this higher time frame zone is broken. So if we get below this zone here, right at pretty much 94, start getting some lower highs below that, we're going to really consider a higher time frame, 4 hour and above, change the trend back to bearish. So we could be seeing, either of these scenarios play out this week, but definitely more likely that it's going to keep creeping. All right, so that's DXY, quick refresher. Let's just move on to AU. All right, so AU shares an inverse relationship with DXY. That's the cause of this huge slide off here. So DXY appreciated, and then AU dropped, right? So as the US dollar was getting stronger in comparison to the Aussie dollar, it dropped, and that's represented in this fall here. Okay, so let's go right to the daily time frame and kind of just see what's going on. So huge retracement here, right? So we were definitely overall bearish, huge bearish trend, creeping, lower lows, lower highs, good steady trend. Here's Corona, huge drop off, and then we get a nice retracement. Very, very strong 4 hour trend. We covered this a bunch of times, but we broke through this monthly zone here, further confirming this is a bullish trend until we saw this slide off, right? So this was the break of the monthly originally. Nice steady bullish trend. Started weakening here. You could see all this chop, and then we ultimately broke this higher low, shot down, broke this higher low as well, crossed through the MAs, 200 crossed the 15, I'm sorry, the 18 and the 8. So that's a huge cross. When the MAs cross, lots of bearish movement, quick rejection on the backside of these candles, and then it dropped. So very, very steep trend, red over blue, pretty much straight down into this monthly zone at 0705. So we have a couple scenarios here where we could potentially take advantage of the market in this, bearish drop, but it's too risky to just short where it is now. Yes, we're consolidating. We could get a break of this little consolidation and make a play off that, but we have to look at it in terms of structure, right? We have not formed structure yet, and we'd really like to see at least the 38.2 hit, preferably the 61.8, because there's a nice little bit of a confluence here. We'd also get what we call, or I call, the MA cross. It's like a two-step thing. You get the MA pullback and then an MA cross. Really nice confirmation, and I could see that happening definitely if we get a pullback, nice pullback to the 61.8. But either way, we can't take a trade on this yet until we see either structure form, confirm reversal, then we can enter on some nice bearish setups, or we break lower from the current zone and then pull back and so on. We'll enter on a lower high below 0.75. But yeah, we got to wait on this one, guys. This was one hell of a move. But yeah, that's one tip, is definitely don't just jump into a move that's shooting in one direction, right? Because now the risk is off. Where would your stop be if you had entered in this on this momentum? We just want to make sure and be patient, wait for all of our rules to line up in this trade setup, and then execute when the time is right. All right. No rush on this one, though. Looking great. Definitely a huge amount of bearish momentum. So, this could be a really nice play. If we see it drop below this monthly zone and we resume the, bearish trend below this monthly, we could see it drop all the way down to this 200 EMA potentially as our first target, right? Which would be, what's this zone right here? This is 0.69. Go to the 4 hour, check it out. 0.69, which finds us right down here. So that's quite a ways away. If we do get rejection from the 38.2, our target would be then down towards 0.69, 180 pips away. On AU, that's a lot. That's a lot. So if we get the 61.8 and then reverse, well over 200. Okay, so that's absolutely massive. Let's just measure this drop for fun. About 300 pips on AU, guys. That is one hell of a push. So even if we get half of that, that would be an incredible move. We would get a really nice risk reward on this from the 61.8. Let's see, we'd probably do about 50 pips to again get at our final target about 230. So well over 4 to 1. This would be really nice to catch. So we'll be watching this one, keeping you guys informed as things develop. But as of right now, it's a waiting game. So that's AU. Let's move on to AJ. Expected to look very similar, right? Huge drop off, pulling back into a larger time frame bearish trend, right? Let's go to the daily time frame first. Take a look at this. Super large bearish channel. If you just look at this, you don't even need to see the candles, honestly. If you want to go to line chart, you can just see how clearly bearish this is, right? Giant bearish channel, okay? And currently we are seeing a bit of a reversal. So we had this ascending ascending wedge at the top of this bullish push. Just shows a weakening of the trend. And then we're getting tons of consolidation between each push here, right? This one's even creeping up. So this shows a weakening of the trend. We did get the reversal a little further past this monthly zone than we would have liked, but it did respect the upper trend line of this larger descending channel. So let's go ahead and drop down to the 4-hour time frame, get a better look at this push, and potentially see where it's going next. All right, so this is the 4-hour. This trend line right here is that daily upper trend line where price action rejected from that very strong bullish trend, and also the top of this wedge here, right? So then we started getting lower highs after consolidation. Finally, we got a break outside of this pattern and support right here at 76.6. And then it also, broke this higher low. Got our first lower high, crossed through the MAs. Tons of confluence in here, guys. There's absolutely, literally a perfect retest. It broke support, tested as resistance. The MAs are there. We got across. The 200 EMA is there as well. Pattern confirmation. There's just tons and tons of confluence. And then this thing dropped. It literally melted, blew through another zone down at 75, and then finally started consolidating just outside this. This is kind of like a maximum trend line I had here, just from these 2 points. It doesn't have that much weight, but that's just where it happens to be consolidating right now. So we fibbed it, and we can see 2 potential scenarios. So we get a pullback. That's scenario 1, right? We're definitely bearish. We're looking to short this. There's no question. So scenario 1 is a pullback to form structure, right? We want to see a retest. We want to see that this trend is going to continue. And, the best way to do that is to see, confirmed structure. So nice pullback to the 38.2, reversal at this level, and also, retesting this broken support now as resistance. Good confluence there. Could get a nice MA pullback, enter on an MA cross in bearish setups. So that is a lot of confluence. Tons of confirmation. Could definitely short at that point. Target lower towards negative fib levels and towards major support. So this could be a really nice move as well. Stop loss would obviously be outside the 75 to protect yourself. More confluence you could put your stop loss behind, the better. The safer it will be, the more confidence you'll have in your trade, and so on. So yeah, this is what we're looking at right now. Nice pullback for structure, and then we're short. But what if it goes bullish? Always have to be ready, for both scenarios. So let's say it does pull back through 75, right? Breaks this resistance, gives us a higher low above this zone. This would still be, you could take a trade here, but it would be a counter trend trade, right? Now, you just want to make sure that your risk to reward is sound, that preferably it's, during the day where or whatever time for you where you actually can have eyes on the chart. Because again, it's a counter trend trade. There's more risk involved. It could just melt after it hits 50 or 61. You don't really know, but we're playing it zone to zone here. So if you do see a higher low, you could enter on it and then simply target back towards the monthly zone, this monthly resistance, and also our 78.6 fib level. So you could target into that, and then we'll reanalyze because we could potentially see a reversal there. This is also pretty close to where the 200 EMA is. So, definitely a little risky, but the potential is there. So these are the 2 scenarios. Looking to go short first, bullish second. Kind of just got to see what happens here. All right, so that's AJ. Let's move on to UJ. So this is the opposite of what we just looked at because it shares a positive correlation with DXY. So as DXY, appreciates, you'll see UJ go up. Okay, so let's go to the daily time frame first and just take a look at the trend, right? We're very bearish, we can see. Giant descending triangle, nice pattern, tons of lower highs. Key support was at 106. Started getting lower highs as that pattern was forming here on the daily. Started consolidating. We got a bit of a range here between 109 and 106. We finally saw a few more lower highs and a break happened here. It pulled back and then formed a descending triangle right at our monthly zone. So still bearish, but it wasn't ready to make the push. This wasn't the right break of this zone, right? So it needed to consolidate a little bit more and then finally, have the conviction to then, break lower. So let's go right to the 4-hour and get a closer look at this triangle. So it's interesting how this formed because it's right at a key zone, right at our monthly. It's kind of like dancing around here, around this 106 level, just kind of breaking back and forth, but still bearish, right? Still very much a bearish pattern. So that was always our bias. We did get a nice lower high at the top of this this pattern here off this trend line, dropped, broke through support right at 105.25, which was the base of the triangle, significantly broke, gave us a nice little retest, broke lower, found support, transitioned right here, pulled back, right, nice little zone there, pulled back, and now back into the triangle. So still very much bearish. It did pull back a little bit further than I thought it would, all the way back to the 88.6, 200 EMA. It literally just wicked it twice to the pip, actually, and is now looking bearish. Like, this is a bearish signal. We have a nice shooting star, nice wick. This is actually a weakening of this trend here as well. Tons of chop at the top of this bullish trend, right? So we could definitely be seeing, you know, a break lower here. So that's definitely our first trade. We're going to resume the overall bearish trend and literally just look for a reversal. I see a perfect transition happening, literally a push through these MAs, back below 105.25, nice lower high below that, and then boom, we're shorting on strong bearish setups at that point. And then this could be a really nice trade. Stop loss above 105.25, target lower towards our prior low at 0%, and then lower towards negative fib levels, major support levels. And guys, this could have a really nice push to the downside. So if DXY shows some bearishness, starts breaking lower, even if it pulls back to you know, the 38.2, this fib level that Angelo was talking about at the beginning, you know, even if it pulls back that much, we could definitely see this break happen and maybe a significant push lower. So we'll be watching this one bearish first. Remember that, until we break 106. So if we get a higher low above 106, I'll change my bias to bullish, and then we'll start looking for long opportunities then. But until that happens, this is looking super bearish, weakening trend. We're going to look for this transition and then let you guys know as it develops. All right. And then we'll drop that in a premium analysis for all you guys. But yeah, I think this could play out very nicely. Nice little transition here. Literally what I look for in you know, every trade. Something like this. This would be absolutely perfect. We got a pattern involved, tons of confluence, nice setups.
What is this, UJ?
Yeah, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, right? Look, how weak does this look to you?
Yeah, it's reversing nice right now.
Yeah, looking good. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's move over to EJ, and then we'll finish with gold. This one is actually forming a rectangle as well, just like EU that Angelo covered. But let's jump over to the daily time frame first. Zoom out a little bit. All right, so we were bearish, clearly defined bearish channel here, a very large one at that. We saw a change of that trend happen when we got a higher low outside of that channel, right? Significant break to the upside, closure, pulled back, nice retracement, nice higher low, tons of confluence, transitioned right here on lower time frame. Let me line this off. Transition right here, 120.70. And then took off into the next zone, right into our monthly at 126.5. Gave us this great transition. It honestly took so much time to transition, but it was easy to spot, right? So we have a nice high established, another high, pretty much a double top, lots of wicks, key zone. Started getting some ranging, lower high started to develop. We got some patterns, and then it dropped off. So really nice reversal. Definitely looking bearish now, right? We broke all these higher lows. We got a nice transition. We broke support, established new resistance. So looking good now. So we're going to drop down to the 4-hour with this new bearish trend in mind.
Yeah, this thing looks like it's going to dump.
I know. So nice. We're keeping that in mind, right? We're looking for shorts. Got to stick with this trend. So let's just analyze this drop here, right? This whole transition that happened. This was that final lower high at this monthly zone that we were looking for. This was the pattern that developed that we wanted to see. Descending triangle, tons of lower highs, got across, bearish setups, nice evening star there, and then tanked. Absolutely tanked. Pushed right to 124.3, retested all three of these MAs basically, and then tanked again. Even gave us a retest of broken support, now resistance at 124.3. A little bit of consolidation, kind of like a pennant pattern, nonetheless a continuation pattern, and then dropped. And now we're at our new area, which is consolidating again, looking like a bit of a rectangle, but a very nice pattern. Easy to see the two opportunities that can play out. But as you guys know, rectangles are continuation patterns, so we're gonna look to continue with this bearish trend. And we're definitely favoring a short here. So very simple. Break and retest. Rectangles are super easy to trade either direction because it's so, there's no question mark. Price action is going sideways. We're looking for a break with a resistance or support here. Very, very straightforward and simple. So looking for a break lower first, retest, confirm lower high, then we're shorting. Shorting it into this weekly zone at 121.35. Could be a really nice trade. Your stop loss would be pretty much dead center of this rectangle here, just outside this resistance zone, the bottom of this rectangle, and then above the lower high. So a good risk to reward there. We target down towards, again, this weekly zone. Pretty good. But let's say we get a pullback. Let's say we get a bullish break of this rectangle. Simply look for a higher low. And again, for those of you that are a little risky, like don't mind the counter trend trade, you can buy this here, right? If you get nice setups, nice higher low, some sort of MA cross, what you want to look for in a trade presents itself, enter it, enter long here, make sure your risk to reward is at least 2-to-1, and then just target back towards resistance, right where the 200 EMA is at 124.3. And then reanalyze, because overall we're still very bearish and it definitely could reverse from that level. And then it's pretty much the same scenario at that point, waiting for a break of this resistance zone, higher low above, or the reversal itself, and then target lower. All right, this thing looks so clean. I love EJ sometimes when it starts trending. Very, very easy to spot. So if we even go to the daily time frame to give you guys perspective, it could very well pull back to 121.35. Okay, that wouldn't be unlikely at all, right where this weekly zone is. So we'll keep you guys aware. As soon as this breaks, we're going to put out an analysis for you guys, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity early on. Looking good, EJ. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap this up with gold. This is always a fun one to look at. It's absolutely nuts. Let's go to the daily time frame first. Super bullish, right? Huge descending triangle, but then it broke lower, right? It pushed lower where we're tracing on this fib we got here, currently at the 61.8. So could it keep dropping or could it reverse the 61.8? So we need to drop to the 4-hour and get a better look at this whole pattern and kind of what's going on here. All right, so this is that giant descending triangle. The base was 1915. It blew right through it. It did retest it. Like it did reject it on the backside of some of these candles, but I wouldn't really call it a proper retest. I really want to see a pullback through these MAs. We got a significant close below and then a pullback. That's really what I like to see. I don't like to see a closure just below and then a retest. I won't really count that. I want to see significant closure below, then the retest comes. That's normally how it goes. So especially on a higher time frame like the 4 hours. So we have two potential scenarios here. Both are bearish because this momentum, it's going to remain bearish until we get a break back above 1915. So I'm just going to show you guys these two scenarios. Either we get a pullback to retest 1915 followed by reversal, in which case we'll take a short on that, target lower, back towards the 61.8, the prior low here, and then also our weekly. But we do see a pennant forming. And for those of you that are into pattern trading, pennants are continuation patterns. So this momentum could still very much be here. It just needed a moment to consolidate, form a pattern. And then we're looking to short on a break, significant break of this pattern. So much, a lower low essentially, and then a pullback, enter on a lower high, and then we're shorting it down back towards 1800. Nice psychological level. And if you look at the daily time frame, it makes a lot of sense. Right? This was that last major zone that was broken before this huge rally. So it could definitely come back, test it, reverse from the 1800 and still be bullish on the daily time frame. So pretty crazy the way gold been moving, just so much volume. So now we have all this ground to cover. All right, it's just made such a huge space between these major zones. These swings are gigantic. All right, so looking for either of these scenarios, and then we'll capitalize on it. Okay, but just a reminder again, if we get a higher low above 1915, that is then bullish. So this would be our bullish option. I'll make it green. Excuse me, just so it represents that, I'll make it green. All right, bullish, that's what we need to see. And then we'll consider long opportunities again. But until that happens, shorts only. All right, quick recap. I'm going to do, we covered DXY, covered AU. A lot of rejection right there. AJ, same thing. UJ, EJ, and gold. All right, so that's all that I prepared for you guys. Looking pretty good this week, guys. The market's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, no, things are looking solid. I'm going to go ahead, share my screen real quick.
Definitely some great opportunities, though.
Oh no, for sure.
Hold on, monthly is for me an evening story. Let's grind. Here you go. Yeah.
All right, so last but not least, we still have this promotion going on for our full course membership. So I just wanted to end this, announcing this. So we've got at this point 7 spots left. So if you guys are trying to build off these live sessions, if you're trying to get into all the premium chats that are inside of the course, real fast, everything that's included, 50 plus videos. So whether you guys are beginners or intermediate, you guys can get started. I'll go over the course in 1 second. You're going to get signals, one-on-ones with me and Nick, trading plan. I don't got one of my trading plans with me right now, but things definitely really helpful. And then psychology training, fundamentals, live sessions, our complete book library, weekly webinars, and most importantly, the positive community. So
Absolutely.
whether you guys join our community or another community, me and Nick started off, I bought a course on Instagram. That's kind of how I started learning. Then I met up with Nick. Nick kind of learned from YouTube and a lot of different sources. But it's kind of just good to centralize your focus on one thing. So again, whether it's ours or another community, try to just focus on one style. Focus on one style so you guys can improve quickly and that you don't get lost or discouraged. And just try to fully immerse yourself in one community. So inside of our course, again, it's for beginners. So if you guys want to get started as a beginner, you just start with week 1. Week 1's going to go over the basics. Some of the stuff's from baby pips. Again, you shouldn't spend all day on there. But as we get into week 2, it's going to get into some more advanced topics. So getting into market structure, support and resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci, everything we go over in the live sessions. And then we'll build off that in week 3 to teach you guys how to do entries, top down, everything like that. We'll give you guys our trading plan, trading journal, and then last but not least, introduce you guys to back testing. If you guys are not back testing, you guys are fucking up. Me and Nick, even this weekend, we trade every single week. We back tested GU. We went back tested GU.
And not just once throughout the week. We did multiple sessions. Like, it should be a constant thing. You're refining a skill. You're keeping yourself, at the best that you could be. So backtesting is super important. That's how you make progress and breakthroughs, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the less time you spend watching videos, reading books, the more time you just spend on the charts, the more results you guys are going to get. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on the chart and you got to be taking everything that you're learning and applying it. You can't just sit here and watch videos and expect to become good and listen to somebody expect to become good. Like, yeah, all this is here to benefit you, the psychology training, everything. But the most important thing is, like, what me and Nick try to teach is we're trying to make something that's applicable that you guys can just apply to the chart. You guys can get on the charts and you can apply a simple strategy that we teach, and you can get that chart time. Like, chart time is going to be all the difference, guys, and actually trading.
And the best part too is, like, we don't expect you to know, like, you can't possibly know all about trading, just getting onto the chart. You're going to have a lot of questions during your back testing. So where you guys see it says one-on-one, these are, weekly one-on-ones. You guys can get, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on, how complex your problem is or how much you're struggling with it. But we're there to help you guys. You can schedule pretty much every week with any questions, and, you'll get it. You just need to put in the work, and, we're here to support that, literally.
Yep. So finishing off, webinars, we record every webinar in the members chat, which I'll show you right here. Boom. In the members chat right here. So this way you'll be added to all these premium chats. We'll ask you guys every single week, times that you're available. And if you guys can't make it, we'll record it. And that's what you're seeing here. All the recordings are posted in here. And then also trade reviews. So all the signals that we post, we try to put trade reviews in there as well. So you guys can, again, just seeing how we take trades, learn from it. The signals are there for you guys, yes, to take and to build your accounts, but also teach you guys risk management, teach you guys how to use lot sizes,
How we apply it.
Yeah, percentages, everything like that. So there's a lot more, inside the course. There's a lot to go over. We've kind of sell ourselves short on it. But we don't really care. At the end of the day, we do these live sessions because we're trading anyway. So we just come on here to go over everything that we're looking for the week. We're trying to prepare ourselves and get ready. So we figured, get this out to you guys for free anyway. But if you guys are interested in getting in one of the spots, it's 40% off right now. It's $2.99. So just hit us up after the session. I'll post stuff in Discord and Telegram. I'll post the recording of this in a little bit. And our next live session is going to be Tuesday, 8 a.m. And we'll see you guys there. So 8 a.m. EST, that'll be our next live session. And I believe, Nick, moving forward, we're going to move these Sunday Market Blitz ones up to 5 p.m.
Yep. So we'll get a little more people. It won't be as late. Get more people in there right as the market opens as well, back to what we originally were doing. So yeah, excited for that.
Yep.
But guys, thank you again. It's always a pleasure to be here and give you guys this analysis and get to know you guys, chat with you. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good night. Peace.